You may not have known it, but today is a red letter anniversary in the proud tradition of top-down brute force central government social engineering project, or at least comically failed attempts at top-down brute force central government social engineering projects, as the case may be, for it was exactly 230 years ago today, Wednesday, 7 May 1794, that the people of France were first introduced to their brand new state religion, the cult of the Supreme Being, which was actually the second brand new state religion to be proclaimed there in the last half decade or so since the heady first days of the French Revolution. And when I say they were heady days, you can take that one literally because heads were dropping pretty much right and left. The first brand new state religion they tried was called the Cult of Reason. So there's no God, there's no Jesus, there's no afterlife, there's no miracles, nothing supernatural really exists. So just take all that energy you used to devote to your Catholic faith and devote it to reason. Just go be reasonable. It'll be great. You'll love it. But here's the problem with trying to make reason into a god. People are not very afraid of it. Certainly not in the same way they are afraid of a supreme cosmic judge who sees all your bad behavior and is fully prepared to consign you to eternal torment if he finds your score sheet lacking. So the French revolutionary government figured out pretty quickly that as political control mechanisms go, a state religion is far less useful when it doesn't have some sort of deity to fear and some sort of eternal reward or punishment attached to it. But Maximilien Robespierre, patron saint of central government social engineers, he has got the whole thing figured, damn it. And by early 1794, he's completed his political ascendancy and is pretty much the top man in the country at this point, who can do whatever the hell he wants. So he decides, okay, we're just going to shit-can this cult of reason thing, and we're going to replace it with something that better serves our needs. And every single aspect of the new state religion is going to be invented out of whole cloth by me, Maximilien Robespierre, with no input from anybody else. Trust me, guys, I got this. Just watch. It's going to be great. And here is the actual proclamation that was read out to the French people, informing them of their new religious belief system. Number 1, the French people recognize the existence of the Supreme Being and the immortality of the soul. Number 2, they declare that the best service of the Supreme Being is the practice of man's duties. Number 3, they set among the most important of these duties the detestation of bad faith and tyranny by punishing tyrants and traitors, by caring for the fortunate, respecting the weak, defending the oppressed, doing unto others all the good one can, and not being unjust toward anyone. But you can't establish a brand new state religion just by issuing a memo, so we're gonna need to throw us some kind of a big old shindig. The Festival of the Supreme Being, we'll call it. And since every parade needs a grand marshal, I suppose that I, Maximilien Robespierre, will be willing to selflessly step up and perform the duty of playing God up on the big float. Except Robespierre's revolutionary compatriots were already getting rather sick of him by this point. They thought he was entirely too full of himself, too autocratic, too arrogant, and he probably just wants to assume all the powers of the former monarch and the former church authorities unto himself. And when your associates are already thinking of you that way, impersonating God up on top of a big float in a parade probably isn't the best way of assuaging their concerns. So this all happens in the second week of May, and does Robespierre make it to the end of July with his head still attached to his shoulders? Spoiler alert, no, he does not. And unsurprisingly, the cult of the Supreme Being perishes right along with him. But self-important social engineers never stop trying to impose new state religions. Nowadays, they just dress them up out of things that aren't ostensibly religious: public health, climate change, race, politics, what have you. So you might say Robespierre's headless ghost continues to haunt us right up to the present day.